Hello everybody, and welcome to your Season 9 Aphrodite guide using a skin that I've never used before on her that's pretty freaking cool, if I do say so myself, but that is not the point of the guide. We're going to be starting off with our Sands of Time, of course. Sands of Time, very good for pretty much all the mid laners right now, but particularly guys that are based around healing. They've kind of always leaned in towards that Sand of Time style object, and believe it or not, we're going to be going towards
we will make quick work of this.
the Spear of Desolation as our first item for that CDR. Looking at their team comp, I am going to need a bead as well, just like I need you to make sure you're hitting that like button to help us with the YouTube algorithm, commenting down below, and making sure that you're subscribed and that you have that bell rung for notifications so you don't miss out on any future guides. Now we're going to be starting off with 2 mana pots on Aphrodite in order to better sustain ourselves with our abilities. Normally I would start off with some multi-pots here actually, but because Aphrodite does actually have healing built into her kit, we can get away with going some mana pots as long as we don't get too cheeky in the early game, so we don't kind of get wrecked at level 1, level 2, where then all of a sudden we regret not picking up those multi-pots. All right, well, we'll see how it goes down. At level 1, we are going to grab our lovey birds. These birds are going to be the ability that we grab at level 1. It's also going to be the ability that we max out first. There are lane clear, there are damage, there are sustain. They're pretty much our everything. For our level 2 ability, we are going to go ahead and grab our 2. This is going to be our knockback / slow, depending on if we are connected to our friend or not. And honestly, with these 2 abilities up and running, Aphrodite has a lot of base damage. People forget about how much damage Aphrodite can do, but particularly in this meta where mages as a whole are just dealing a lot of damage with these flat pen items.
I got your back, brother.
Don't be surprised when the Aphrodite gives you an absolute slap to the noggin with her combo right now.
Tower is under attack.
Really, all the healers, all the mages, everybody in the mid lane running down at you can hit you quite hard. And then at level 3, we're gonna grab our kiss so we can connect to our jungler. As far as the leveling order for the rest of the game, we are gonna be maxing out our 3 first. Then you do have an option to either level up the 2 to max for that bonus damage, or to level up the ultimate every time that you get. The ultimate is gonna add you just a tiny little bit longer on how long that immunity duration is for. So if you do go the path of the ultimate, you will be a little bit safer. But if you rank up the 2, you get 60 more damage per level up, which is really nice.
I am with you now.
So it just depends on the game. If you are winning the game pretty strong, then I would recommend grabbing the 2, getting that extra damage, kind of continuing along with the snowball. If you find that you're getting ganked a lot, or that your team is dying, or you're dying, then I would go ahead and level up that ultimate second. So either 3, 2, 4, 1 on that leveling to max, or 3, 4, 2, 1. The leveling up of the 1 is actually quite nice, but a lot of it is percentile based, which means that it's actually going to be better as we get later on into the game and people have those higher numbers to work with. We're going to get more benefit out of it. Until then, we're basically just utilizing it to heal up our team and extend out the range of our 2 damage.
Be gone from here.
Aphrodite right now as a healer is in kind of a weird spot in the meta. The reason why healers are kind of in a weird spot is not because healing is bad. Healing is actually pretty strong. It's just that in combat healing right now isn't super useful because there's so many ways to get anti-heal going Divine Ruin is fantastic. You've got Toxic Blade for auto attackers. You got Brawler's Beast Stick, Pestilence. You got the new upgraded Cursed Ons have some cool things that they can do. So there's just a lot of really efficient, really good ways to get anti-heal, and it can get online pretty early.
Enemy missing middle.
Which means that the in-combat healing days of healers running at you and not taking any damage are pretty much over, because you can get that anti-heal online easily before the 10-minute marker.
Be right back.
But what they are still good at
Your right tower
is that out-of-combat healing, that healing done after the fight is over or before it began, help you sustain up and go over and do an extra objective, be able to push down one more tower, stuff like that. The stuff after the stuff, that is where healers are still useful. So you can get that just one more thing, that one more little bit of farm, that one more little bit of action. Holy flippin' Agni, dashing in and going for the damage, Batman. Gonna have to use my ultimate right there for a little bit of immunity. And I am actually gonna stick around to grab the farm from those archers. Might even be able to bait my body a little bit here for the Susano, because if the Agni comes back in on me again, I can go for the quick kiss. Looks like I am gonna be able to bait my body, and hopefully he will be able to pick up that kill on Agni. Not quite gonna be able to, that is unfortunate. Now we're gonna back up. We're gonna grab ourselves that Spear of Desolation and also get ourselves a couple of wards out into the world. Help prevent us from getting ganked. For the gods that we're looking to run with on Aphrodite, we're looking at gods, particularly assassins, but also just general late game hyper carries. Susano is a great pairing with Aphrodite. He's got a good amount of damage potential, but also he gets into the middle of the engagement, which is what you're looking for the majority of the game on Aphrodite until the ultra late game. You're just looking for somebody that can go up, get involved, somebody that's melee range. Susano has a pull, brings them right to him, so that way when you're connected to him with your kiss, you can just smash that too. Super easy follow-up damage, plus it puts that slow on them, which makes it easier for your jungler to also get more damage off on them. Reminder that the Aphrodite 2 is a knock-up around you, but a slow around your teammates. And no, it does not do double damage from being in 2 circle ranges. You don't all of a sudden get like a 1,000 damage nuke. Would be cool though. Not really. Wouldn't be that cool. It'd be really cool when you're playing Aphrodite, and then it'd be really not cool watching her get permabanned every single game. But you're really just looking for teammates that you're going to be able to get into the fray. So Susano, a Set, a Kali. You see these kind of team fight, late game focused, right up in their business. Get a ton of damage on them. Into the later stages of the game, depending on who your jungler is, if it was a Kali, Kali maintains herself as a great target throughout the entirety of the game. We get to level 20, she's gonna be popping it, locking it, and dropping it in the back of those team fights.
Gank left lane.
And so that's gonna be totally fine. But Susano might not be as big of a hyper carry at the 25+ minute marker than my ADC. So as you look to the late stage of the game on Aphrodite, just be aware that you might need to transition from kissing your jungler in team fights to kissing your hunter, particularly if your hunter is somebody like an Artemis or a Rama, a Shibalanke, somebody who's really popping off in the damage numbers in the late stages of the game. Heim, much safer of a hunter, so he probably doesn't need my kiss as much as other people would. Now, as far as our second item goes in Aphrodite, we do have some options. If we wanted to go more aggressive, we could get some more damage going straight up with another flat pen. I do not really need anti-heal against this composition. So instead, I'm gonna make myself a little bit tankier. Gonna go ahead and start working myself into a Warlock Sash. Still a great damage item, still gonna give us a ton of power and that percent pen, but also gonna give me a little bit of HP, because Lord knows I am going to be a target priority on the Aphrodite.
Middle tower is
The
under
Spear of the Magus is kind of fun on Aphro because it gives us that bonus damage. We do the Kiss full combo follow-up, and that's going to give us some bonus damage, but doing damage is not our entire focus on Aphrodite. It's also keeping our team alive, and we can't keep our team alive if we are dead. Also, Spear of the Magus has lifesteal on it,
I am with you now.
and building items with lifesteal is traditionally not advisable on Aphrodite. Gonna go ahead and ultimate for my Susano, so that way he doesn't have to use an active to get out of that ultimate, and neither do I. Unfortunately, for my guest, I can only kiss one boy at a time. For enemies that we don't want to play against on Aphrodite, believe it or not, gods that have built-in anti-heal are not our favorite to go against. The Sobex, Bacchuses of the world.
Right tower is under attack.
Alput actually has a ton of anti-heal, and honestly, because of Aphrodite not having a movement ability, it also means that unless your ultimate is up, his combo is actually really easy to hit you with. So you do have to be careful about him, which is not something you have to say on a lot of gods. But anybody that has the anti-heal built into their kit, it's just going to be a problem for you. It's the nature of being a healer.
Nothing to fear.
Lord
I will
knows they're going to
protect
get
us
their
both.
anti-heal going quick. You can see Agni went right into a Divine Ruin. He's got that as his first item, so they've already got a solid amount of anti-heal. You don't need them having more anti-heal built into their kits on top of all of that. Cripples, not really a problem for us in Aphrodite, so I don't got to worry about like these Ares chains. That's not a big deal at all. Don't have to worry about CC on Aphrodite. She deals with CC really well because she gets that built-in Aegis/beads on her ultimate. Reminder that it can be used while you are CC'd. Doesn't have to be used beforehand. It can be used during as well. Now, I'm kind of low on mana, so we need to be a little bit careful here. But on top of that, you also have to watch out for walls because we do not have a leap. We have no getaway capability, which means that the ultimate Aphrodite counter, the god with the anti-heal and the
Let
walls,
them witness
is
our
Odin.
combined
Odin traps you in the cage. You can't go anywhere unless your team gets a phantom shell. Plus, while you're inside, bada bing, bada boom, you're hating life the entire time. You don't want to be dealing with no Odins on Aphrodite, I promise. Ymir, Kabrak, and all those guys annoying. Odin, detrimental
Your left
for the
tower is
Aphrodite.
under attack.
Would recommend that he's banned before you think about locking in one of the healers like Chang'e, Hell, Aphrodite. For our standard combo on Aphrodite, pretty straightforward. It's going to be the same every single time. We're going to be starting off our combination with our kiss. Give them a nice little kiss on the cheek on the
I
enemy.
am with you now.
That's going to stun them, which is going to allow us to immediately follow up with our birds to make sure that our birds can hit them. Birds, pretty slow ability. You have to remember that it doesn't immediately hit the whole line. The birds have an actual travel time, which means you have to wait for it to travel all the way down the line. So if they're not stunned or CC'd of some nature, chances are they're not actually going to get hit by it. So 1, 3, and then if you're in range, you just follow up with your 2, and that'll do about 50% of a squishy's HP in damage, which is quite nice. So I'm going to walk up towards Agni, hit him with a 3, hit him with a little auto attack into 2, and you can see that he's actually down to about 25% HP, so he's pretty low. I'd like to get my Susano kissed here. I don't know if Ares has used his ultimate yet. I'm going to walk up towards that Kali. I'm going to hit her with a little bit of a combo. She does have her ulti still up on the Kali. I'm staying close to my Susano, keeping him connected. Accidentally gonna link to the Geb there. I was actually trying to kiss that Ares. Unfortunately, it will override on friendly targets if they're right on top of each other, so you just gotta keep that in mind. I need to pop my ultimate right here to actually get myself away because I got a
ready.
little greedy there on my positioning at the end of that fight. And I am going to stick around for that hashtag one more wave. Want to make sure I'm getting these warlock stacks going as soon as possible. Really good pick off from our Susanna right there. Grabbing that Agni. Now I'm going to grab myself an Aegis to help keep myself alive. And then for my next item, I'm going to take myself into a Staff of Myrddin. Now, Staff of Myrddin is a little bit, I would say, of a... It's an underrated item. It is quite good. I think that people are underestimating right now. It's just stat efficacy. In terms of raw stats, it really provides a lot to you. You get a bunch of power, 105 magical power. You get 10% cooldown reduction and 10% magical penetration, separate from the passive. Passive, really easy to use on Aphrodite. You pop ultimate, you can still continue to use all of your abilities willy-nilly, and then it just helps you get everything back up to go for another round of combos. Really good item. I like it on the third slot on a lot of mages right now, outside of obviously the mages that have giant channel ultimates like Zhonghui and stuff, who just simply cannot use that Myrddin efficiently.
Defend the Gold Fury.
Gonna call that defend Gold Fury. Gonna kiss my Geb so we can get over there a little bit faster. Geb is hopefully gonna stick in range so I can use my 2 to go for a little steal. Not quite gonna be able to steal it. Just needed like 1 more second in order to steal that away. I'm trying to make my way toward their team because they are so low, but the Bologna is so big, he's just gonna be zoning us out right now. Keeping that ultimate up in case I need to use it on myself. The Geb is not gonna need that. Good meditation coming out. We're getting pressure over in their right side jungle, and that is nice. Try to kiss the Agni right there, get a combo on him, but we're not gonna be able to just call for the mid lane. If I would have waited just a hair more, I could have maybe stolen that. Now, unfortunately, we are quite low in a lot of different places right now. They've got a very large lead on us in the solo lane and the ADC role, which is going to be problematic for us. Our jungler isn't super... we've got a 3-level lead in the jungle, and I'm basically even in mid. But we're down in both of those side lanes, and so that's going to be a massive problem for us this Apollo and this Bologna, so we're gonna need to keep them in mind. And they do have about a 6k gold lead right now. At the 16-minute marker, that's right around the game being over. But hopefully we can get some nasty Aphrodite Susano plays off. Hopefully. But they're going to start snowballing around the map really hard, and they also have quite a good late game composition as well. Although ours
Defend the fire
is technically a better late game. It is technically better.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Taking a gander at what they're building. They do have some more anti-heal. They've got the Pestilence. They've got the Divine Ruin. No brawlers or anything, so that's nice. They're rocking triple physical, double magical. Keep that in mind for if I end up needing to build
Ultimate is ready.
I am with you.
any defenses. I probably won't end up this game because you really need your mid laner to be doing a ton of damage right now. So building defenses is it's not like the previous meta where you could get away with going like these tankier, almost hybrid mid lane builds. It's very much a direct damage in the mid lane because of all the power that there is, of all the pen that there is. So you can't really afford to get that tanky. You've got a couple of options like the E staff and the Warlock staffs and stuff, because they still provide a good amount of damage, but you can't just
Let the light
go
banish them
full-blown
from the
Breastplate of
shadows.
Valor, Book of the Dead builds like you could before. I'm gonna go ahead and just ulti for this game right here.
Protects us.
Aphrodite ult for an Ares ult is pretty worth for the team, although I do need to be careful about them
Come closer.
going in on me super hard now. Gonna switch my target over to Susano. Try to keep him in range. This Apollo damage you can already see is going to be a problem. We don't have our Heim over here, although I don't know how much it would matter, honestly. Gonna try to get my Geb a little bit out of here. Gonna switch my target over to Susano, but between him getting Maz and the Bologna ulting in, not much we're gonna be able to do there. Falling that far behind in both of the duo lanes is definitely a rough one. That's a lot of XP to be down in both of those side lanes. So when games like this happen, you basically have two options, which is, as of this point in the game, there is nothing that we can do to win. There is no like smite mechanic to bring you back from this deficit if your team gets this far behind. The only thing you can basically hope for is their team to throw. So your options are basically F6, be like, move on to the next one, or to be like, well, we'll wait it out, hope that they make a stupid choice, hope that somebody dives a Phoenix when they shouldn't be doing it. Maybe they screw up on a fire giant secure, something like that. But there is no actual smite mechanic in the game to come back from a deficit. That is the challenge. So all we can basically do is continue to link towards our Susano, try to keep him alive while he is outputting as much damage as humanly possible, and defend our Phoenixes. Looks like he is going to get killed there in the mid lane though, so there's not going to be anything that we can do about that. Gonna have to let all the tier 2s go, and I have to head over towards that right-hand side to try to defend the right-hand side Phoenix.
I am with you.
Quick kiss my Gab. Try to get some damage there onto the Apollo. We are gonna get a nice little kill on the Bologna, and they didn't get the Phoenix, which is nice. But they're gonna be rotating over to us. That's Agni dash down. Maybe we can get ourselves a little gank in mid, but we'd have to be careful because Apollo could actually just split push this right side Phoenix and get it pretty immediately. So this is also a game that if this game ends in the next 5 minutes, there's no way that we're winning. So we're doing everything that we can to extend out this game as long as humanly possible. If this goes past the 35-minute marker, then we've got a shot at this game. So it's just a matter of trying to get everybody there. As for my job in the late game team fights in Aphrodite, the job is mostly going to be keep myself and whoever our primary damage dealer is alive. As of right now, I'm our primary damage dealer. So it's a 2-for-1 deal on trying to just keep myself alive, so that's nice.
Gank, left lane.
Looking over towards the Apollo, he actually doesn't necessarily see that we were there at first. He's going to try to get out immediately, but we're going to be able to burst him down. You can see, even though I'm a healer, I am still doing lots of damage.
Attack left lane.
That was a bit of mistake on the Apollo positioning there. So if we can get grouped up and shove left lane, maybe get ourselves a tier 2 tower, that would be quite nice. Then we can back up and go to defend those Phoenixes.
I am with you now.
We do need to do this quick. They've got Onis over in mid. They've got somebody teleporting in. I can't afford to tank this anymore. Nice damage though onto the Bologna. She was there by herself. We are gonna need to back up and defend here, probably sooner than later.
Defend.
Yep. So now we need to make sure we're getting ourselves out of this one. I'm gonna try to get out before the Ares can get me. If Heim can put him in combat, great play from the Heim there. Gonna get him out of the way so I can head over towards this right lane.
Retreat.
Overall, great play from the team right there. Keeping our deficit at 10K. Not letting it grow too much more for now. Probably trying to get a little cheeky over here and take that Phoenix because she knows that I also have to go defend the mid lane. So I'm trying to make sure he doesn't stay over here
The gentle touch of fire.
and try to grab that Phoenix.
Your right Phoenix is under attack.
So I'm staying over there for just a little bit longer. Every minute that we can buy is good for us. As far as my positioning, I'm going to be trying to keep myself near the Geb in the back line so that I am available for those quick Geb shields to help keep me alive. And also trying to position myself near the Susano. Now, Kali is a bit of a problem for me. She jumps in, luckily, which allows me to just use my backup. Get out of there. Go on, get. Next item, I'm going to be getting a Rod of
They
Tahuti.
cannot
Rod of
handle
Tahuti is a mandatory item
Defend left
on
lane.
all healers. I'm coming, Arthur. It's gonna be okay. I need to be a little bit careful of the Apollo right here. I'm gonna go and try to get a bunch of damage on him. Pop my ultimate because they use a bunch of the curse dogs. I've got like 98% anti-heal on me right now. Go kiss my Susano. Just trying to keep the most important people alive.
fire.
We gotta get the Apollo off of this Phoenix. I'm gonna kiss him again. Hit him with another 2. Still got my ultimate up. Excuse me, not my ultimate. Still got my actives up if we end up needing it. Looks like Apollo is just trying to zone me out right there. Don't think I need to Aegis that. Kali is gonna go take the mid Phoenix, which is a bit of a bummer because we just can't kill these guys fast enough.
Come closer.
But 1 Phoenix isn't the end of the world if we can keep it to being 1 Phoenix. Holy cow. Unfortunately, Kali was still around the corner, and now they might be able to actually grab the Heim and end the game. It's going to be a close one on that front. The reason why Rod of Tahuti is so important is because of the passive. If you look at the passive on Rod of Tahuti, basic attacks and abilities gain 25% additional magical power against targets below 50% health. Now, everybody knows that this means bonus damage, but this also means bonus power for healing. This means that if you or a friendly is below 50% health, you gain 25% power scaling on the heal as well, which is why it's so important to always have it on your healing. When you need the healing most, you get the additional healing scaling from your power, and chances are you're gonna have a lot of power right now. First though, we are gonna rank up that Sands of Time, so that way we have got 40% CDR right now. They're gonna go grab themselves another fire giant. We don't contest this fire giant. It is still baby fire giant. Once it becomes enhanced, if we make it that long, we would have to contest the fire giant. The enhanced fire giant is really strong,
Nothing to fear. I
so
will
we
protect
do
us
need to
both.
defend it if it comes to that point, but the game may very well end before then. So after that Rod of Tahuti as our last item, we would basically have a free slot to throw in whatever we would need. We don't need any more cooldown. We'll have 30% penetration as well, so we also don't need any more penetration, which means we can just get something to help keep us alive if we need it, or we can get some sort of hybrid item. E-staff, kind of gonna help us do damage, kind of gonna help keep us alive. We could get ourselves a Rod of Asclepius, kind of help do damage, kind of help keep us alive and do some more healing. Any of those items that are kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Could get a Mantle of Discord. We'd overcap on the CDR, but who cares? If we're getting killed by Kali over and over again because she's blinking on us, maybe that extra little bit of CC immediately helps keep us alive. Maybe a Magi's Lesson help keep us alive.
I am with
We're gonna have tons of damage, so that's not gonna be a problem. That is an Apollo ulti down though. That's kind of nice. Main target needs to be Agni and Apollo. I need to keep Susano linked to me.
I am to
Apollo getting a little bit aggressive right there. I do have to use my ulti early, which means I also have to go for the beads. I am getting dove hard in the backline. I'm gonna kiss onto my Heim and try to keep him alive. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to keep him alive. Doesn't look like Gab is gonna be able to help us out in this one. And that is the way the cookie is gonna crumble. So on Aphrodite, we learned an important lesson, which is Aphrodite, much like a lot of the healers, is only as good as her team does. Because she is not a hard carry mid laner, it means that you are reliant on the rest of your team also doing good, a lot like a Nox kind of situation where you're not going to carry by yourself. You're going to assist the other people to do well. But if your other lanes are losing, if your other lanes are behind, and you're having to assist somebody that's down 4 or 5 levels, it doesn't really matter at that point because they've already kind of fallen behind to the point where they weren't able to help out. So on Aphrodite, get yourself ahead. You're gonna do plenty of damage as you can see, and you just gotta hope that your teammates can keep up, so that way you have somebody to provide that assistance to as you move in to the late stages of the game, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I hope you enjoyed your Season 9 Aphrodite guide. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a twitching day, y'all.